Welcome back to the slowest intro I think I've ever made, because we're taking a look at the Volkswagen Double Overhead Cab from 1966, which you can get via this event, the VW Exclusive Seasonal Championship. And to be honest, it sounds like a lawnmower. Not only does it sound like one, it also acts like one too, with a whopping 53 brake horsepower, 78 foot-pounds of torque, and weighs a whopping 2,491 pounds with a 1.5 litre engine. So here it is. This is the Double Overhead Cab. It might not look like much from the front, but going to the side, yeah, now you can see how I got the name. It's essentially a Type 2 camper van, but it just got turned into a bit of a pickup or a ute if you're Australian. Going to the inside, there's really not much to say. There's a little ashtray, there's a tiny radio, and a grab handle over there for when you finally break the 60 mph mark. But for now, let's go ahead and take a listen to the almighty lawnmower. And now here we are in the upgrade shop, so the first thing we're doing is jumping straight to conversion, over to engine swaps, and seeing we actually have 5 available. We've got ourselves a 2 litre inline 4, we've got ourselves a 2 litre flat 4, we've also got a 2.5 litre flat 4, a 2 litre flat 4 turbo rally, and also a 4 litre flat 6. By the way, that engine gives you nearly 500 brake horsepower in D class. If you want, you can also go ahead and turbocharge or supercharge this thing. And we can also go ahead and make it all-wheel drive, which we'll be doing a little bit later on. As for aero and appearance, let's go ahead and take a look. We've got ourselves some Forza Aero for the front, which actually doesn't remove the bumper for once, and we also have the option to go ahead and then remove the bumper entirely. As for the wing, we've just got the option to add a tiny little piece of plastic, which apparently is meant to help aero this thing a little bit. How? I will never know. And then at the back, we can go ahead and take the rear bumper off entirely. A pretty cool thing about this being a 1960s vehicle is we also have the option for white wall tyres. Now, doesn't that look cool? So much like every other vehicle that we featured, Big Macintosh 762, our resident tuner, is back once more with another A-class race tune for this thing. There's the share code, and now we're going to go ahead and download it for ourselves. So this thing now weighs just a shade over 2,250 pounds with 470 brake horsepower at the top of A-class. So let's go and see how it does. And now going over to the paint shop, we've got ourselves nothing in advance, which is a little bit of a shame, and 1, 2, 3, 4 different manufacturer colours. Personally, I really do like the blue, but of course our fan favourite ketchup red has to make an appearance somewhere. Now, a fun fact about this thing is we was also seen in another previous Forza game, Forza Horizon 4, as part of the car pass. I'm not quite too sure how far along the car pass this thing was, but it was actually, I guess, pretty decent. I never really drove it much in Horizon 4, so I'm hoping that it'll make a very good first impression on me right here in Forza Horizon 5. Now, not only is there a VW camper, the VW, double overhead cab like you see here, they were also used as vans as well and had many practical uses. And away we go. Speaking of Australias and utes, there's one right there, which is actually pretty interesting considering we were talking about that earlier. But now we've got a challenge of taking this thing from 8th to 1st with a tune that I don't quite know how to drive yet. Now, a pretty cool thing about this is I actually saw this tune being tested. I was online at the time and was able to be in a convoy with our fantastic tuner, so it was actually pretty cool. Now, of course, that thing was being tested around the Horizon Mexico circuit, as well. We're taking this on a very long sprint race, which is a whopping 5 miles long, but I'm hoping we might still get a pretty decent result from it. Mostly because there's a lot of tight turns, and from the rate that they're pulling away, it looks like we're going to need it. A lot. And on the brakes, turn, please turn, ow. Oh, come on, past we go. There's a transit right there. I want to aim to at least try and pass the transit. Now, while we're racing, a little fun fact about this is even though they were very popular in terms of single cab and double overhead cab, or double cab a bit like this one is, there are only around 155,760 of these ever made, which makes them honestly kind of rare. Especially seeing as a lot of the cars nowadays are SUVs and electric hybrids. Or even worse, just normal electric. However, Volkswagen weren't the first, because apparently back in America in the 1950s, a group called International ended up making the International Harvester, which was then seen as one of the first single cab trucks, ever made. So, Volkswagen were a little bit late to the trend, but I still think they did a pretty good job on this thing. I just wish we had the option to paint the bumper on this thing and the Type 2 as well. In the meantime, none of that is a bother to us, because across the line we go with a very comfortable first place. I mean, everybody else is miles behind, and we have a time of 2 minutes 52. So after an actually very successful race, we're now back here at the upgrade shop, and of course we're going to go and slam this thing back into being all-wheel drive, and we're going to go ahead and throw in the flat 4. I realise now after that last clip, that was actually the flat 6. We're also going to go ahead and twin turbo this thing because we're going to try and attempt to make this thing a drag build. I don't know how well it's going to go or how well it isn't, but well, let's go find out, shall we? Large tyres, check, and at the back as well. and of course a little bit of anti-lag. And also while we're here, can't forget the off-road springs and dampers. So after a little bit of upgrading, we're now at 2,490 pounds, which is quite light. We've also got 957 brake horsepower, and all that cost us 79,000 credits. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for more power out of this thing. Although now I have the fun job as always of tuning this thing, and I really hope this thing could actually start being able to be a potential competitor, or a potential candidate rather, for being a good wheelie build, because, well, I just hope so at this point. Okay, here we are now over at the back of the Festool, so let's go ahead and get ourselves a wheelie check. I'm feeling good about this thing, and by the looks of things I have every reason to be good about this thing. I mean, hey, there's the thumbnail. In the meantime, here we are now over at the edge of the drag strip. We're going to go on launch control, get ourselves ready, and away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we get out of this thing. Nearly 1,000 brake horsepower, but not quite. But we are also very light. Thank you for sending me my screenshots uploaded. That is absolutely fantastic. Oh, and to OneDrive as well. Even better. But can you get out of the way so I can see the speed? 174 and off the end of the drag strip at a whopping 183 miles an hour. As for brakes, well, we have none. A common daily occurrence. And because it's that good, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and save this one. And don't worry, I'll put the share code for it in the description of this video. In the meantime, with that tune now saved, let's go ahead and slap on some good old-fashioned semi-slick tyres, and also go ahead and find, over to platform handling, our good old road suspension, which is just here. And for the sake of style, we're going to go ahead and put on the front and rear bumpers, because honestly, this thing doesn't look right without it. There is honestly temptation to use the white walls, but this thing would be way too uncontrollable. However, before we go any further, here's this week's Forza shop. We got ourselves the Koenigsegg 1 from 2015, the Germany t-shirt in tops. We've also got the Welcome Spring car horn, which sounds a bit like this. Ah, isn't that wonderful? We also got ourselves the Lamborghini Centenario LP770-4, the Natural Suit from the Outfits range, the Horizon Super Wheelspin, and the regular Horizon Wheelspin as well. And now, out to the motorway. Alrighty, here we are, fresh bottles of Coca-Cola at the ready, although to be fair, if I put them in the back, I think they probably might have all fallen out by now. But let's go ahead and get ourselves on launch control, and away we go with nearly 1,000 brake horsepower and a fresh new coat of paint. Oh, and the bumpers are back as well. Probably should have mentioned that, or maybe I did, I don't know. Now, I'm not exactly expecting a fast speed out of something that looks essentially like a just kind of aerodynamic brick, but I'm still hoping for something pretty good. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get ourselves out of the speed zone. The end of it is just here, and we get ourselves a whopping 194.42, which is, like I say, not exactly speedy, but hey, this thing's still kind of fun. In the meantime, downhill and speed cameras to go, you know the rest, let's get going. And through the speed camera at 197.06, which is kind of disappointing, I'm not going to lie. Going downhill at 200, which is a miracle for this thing, 201, and I think that's probably all we're going to get. And we've had another supercar or hypercar just load in out of nowhere. Well, hi there. And bye there, okay? We're passing, cool. That's about the only time this thing's going to pass anything. Although you never know, it might end up passing the drift test, because of course that is what we are doing next, which is always on our to-do list with these cars. We're going to go ahead, throw in the double overhead cab with nearly 1,000 brake horsepower, all-wheel drive, semi-slick tyres, and a pretty decent gear ratio. And we're going to end up with 40,587 on the first attempt, which is actually really good. If anything, I think it did better than the Mercedes last week. Okay, now here we go back the other way. I'm kind of hoping to try and do the same thing that we did last time, get a little bit of sideways going, a bit more sideways, come on, and 38,112 outside of the, you know, the other side of that drift zone for round 2. Honestly, that's actually really good. Once again, as is my terrible luck, there's a sandstorm over that way, so I'm going to drive this way just so I can save having eardrums. Because if you play Horizon 5, you know just how loud that sandstorm can really be. So back onto the motorway we go. There's again not a beamer in sight unlike last time, but there is this pretty cool looking Volkswagen. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Definitely go ahead and pick this thing up. It'll take you even less time than getting the Mercedes-Benz 500e, which is still a good car and I would recommend getting it. But this thing is only available until Thursday, March 28th, because the season will change at 2:30 PM GMT, so I don't know what that is in your time zone, so you've not got long left to get this thing, and I definitely would recommend going ahead and getting it. Sure, it might not be powerful, it might not be too quick, but at the end of the day, it can wheelie, and I think that's worth it in and of itself. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. I did not realise there was a coach there. I was going to drive past, you saw nothing happened. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you all in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Thanks for watching, tech out. See ya. Hurry, van, I have to deliver drinks to the people.